Lesson 38, Advanced Filter. The advanced filter is a versatile power tool in VBA code. I don't find many people who use this in the regular Excel interface. It's hard to use, but it's much easier to use in VBA, and frequently I find that I use advanced filter to create reports in Excel. Let's get started. So we have a data set here, and the advanced filter actually is a tool that is many different tools. Let's just talk about it first in the Excel interface. It's on the data menu, and it's over here in the filter box called Advanced. In the old version of Excel, it was called Data Filter Advanced Filter. That's where you would find it. And the one place that I use filter a lot is that it's possible to take the filter application and use it to get a unique list of customers. So I'll take this heading here, the customer heading, and copy it over to column J. And now we can come into the original data set, use advanced filter, say that I want to copy the list to another location, I want to copy it to J1, and I want a unique list of customers. And you'll see here that we get just one occurrence of each customer. Great little tool there. It doesn't sort the customers, they end up in the same order that they were in the original data set. Okay, so that's one use of advanced filter. The other use is where we set up a criteria range. So this could be my criteria range here. I'm looking for customer trustworthy flagpole partners, and then possibly an output range. So my output range, I might just want these fields: region, product, date, customer, quantity. And maybe I want to reorder them. So product first, and then customer, date, and quantity. Okay, so now watch this second use of advanced filter. We come back to the original data set, use advanced filter. This time I'm going to copy to another location. The copy range, though, is these headings that I copied out here. The criteria range is now J1 to J2, and I do not want unique records. I want all records. Click OK. And there is a list of all the records for that one customer. And it even reordered them for me. All right, so the macro that I want to talk about in this lesson takes advantage of both of these uses of advanced filter. Let's take a look at the code. And of course, you can use this code from the CD. Every time that I need to use an advanced filter, I pretty much come back to this macro. This was originally published in my book VBA and Macros for Microsoft Excel 2007. So what we do is I set up three ranges here: an input range, an output range, and a criteria range. And then we have the original worksheet where the data is, and a new workbook and a new worksheet. My goal is to create one report for every customer without looping through all 1100 records in the original data set. And so we select the worksheet. In this case, the worksheet is called Sales Report. I delete any previous data out there beyond column H. So, in case the macro bombed out on the previous run, I get rid of anything that's out there in J through AZ. Of course, in your case, you're going to want to adjust that. Define WSO, the original worksheet, as the active sheet. Figure out where the final row is. Now you can see that this is hard-coded for Excel 2003. This needs to be updated to say rows.count. And figure out where the next column is going to be. That's going to be columns.count. So if the last column was in H, I'm basically skipping a column and going to J, and that's going to be where our output range is initially. Now you can customize this for your particular data set. Here I'm copying the customer heading. So the customer heading from D1 out to an output range in J. In your case, you would just choose the appropriate heading that you want to copy, and then the output range is simply that cell J1. So all of those steps are for the first use of advanced filter. I define the input range, and now here's the one line that actually goes through and does the first advanced filter. Let's take a look at this line. We perform the advanced filter method on the input range. The action is we want to copy to a new location. There is no criteria, and the copy to range is basically cell J1. That's where I've copied the customer heading, unique equals true. At this point, if I run the macro to this point, we're going to have a unique list of customers out in J. So let's run that. See, we start here on this page. We'll run the macro up to this point. And when I switch back to Excel, I have a unique list of customers. Now, I want to loop through all the customers in this list. And so you see that the next section is figure out where the last customer is. And so again, here, this was working for Excel 2003. I go to the last row in the next column. That's column J in this case. Hit the N key and the up arrow key, and we'll find out that the final customer is row 28, and that's correct. The last customer is in row 28. So then I'm going to loop through each cell from row 2 down to row 28, and for each one I figure out what this customer is. Okay. We set up a criteria range, so I'm going out to the next column plus 2, so that's JKL, going out to column L, copying the customer heading over again, and then writing this customer in the second cell. So in L1 we have customer, in L2 we will have the particular customer that we're looking for. All right, so here this is like the second advanced filter that we did. The nice thing though, this is in a loop, so the first time we're going to get trustworthy flagpole, and then the next time amazing shoe company, mouth-watering notebook, and so on. So we define the criteria range as that. The output range, in case you don't want all the columns, in this case I wanted columns C, E, B, and F. Copy those columns over to column N, so next column plus 4. Let's run those two and take a look. And so I've set up my output range out here, N, O, P, and Q, date, quantity, product, and revenue. And then I do a second advanced filter. So there was one advanced filter to get the unique list of customers. This one I'm going to do a copy. I specify the criteria range, and I specify a new output range. So we'll take a look at what happens there. There's a list of all of the data for that one customer. Okay, and then from here on out, the code is similar to a previous lesson where we created a new workbook, set up the title, copied the data from the original workbook to the new workbook, added a total, did a little bit of formatting, and so let's get down through that point. We'll run the code down to there. So we should see that we are in a new workbook now, put a nice title in, made the headings bold. I want to jot a note for myself that it needs to do a column auto fit selection in column A because it's not wide enough. And then it saves that new workbook with the name from this customer, and then closes it and goes back to the original worksheet. It clears out the output range and then runs the loop again. So as it goes through, you can see that we're going to very quickly be able to create many different reports, one for every customer that we found. We don't have to hard code how many customers there were. However many customers show up today, that's how many different reports we're going to get. This is a very general utility that can be used again and again and again on just about any data set. It will create multiple workbooks for each unique value that's found in a certain column. For you to customize this, of course, it's very easy to go through and change where we're copying column D. If you wanted to see every product or something like that, instead of copying column D, then you would copy column B, and you get a unique list of every product. Every region, you would copy cell A1 instead of D1. Two places to do that. One here where we're setting up the original output range, and then again where we're setting up the criteria range right here, range D1.value. You change those two cells, and this macro will be general enough to report on just about any data set that you have. So the advanced filter, something that you probably very rarely use in the Excel interface, but you'll find that you reuse this macro again and again and again in order to split data into multiple workbooks, much faster than going through and looping through all the 1100 records in the original data set. I'll just point out here that our macro that we're working in is in Module 2. If you go back to Module 1, you will see all the code from the VBA and macros book for this chapter. So there's other examples there that will not necessarily create new workbooks, but can just get you a list of items and so on. So I'll leave that to you to investigate. Well, this was lesson 38. In the next lesson, lesson 39, we're going to take a look at a faster way to delete records that match a certain criteria. In that case, we're not going to use the advanced filter. We're just going to use the what used to be called the auto filter and is now called the filter. Well, thanks for watching. I hope you found this lesson helpful.
Looking to advance your career by acquiring new skills? Tired of expensive off-site training programs? Wish you could learn from the best instructors in the industry? Look no further than live lessons. Self-paced, personal video instruction by the world's leading technology publishers. Each live lesson comes with a DVD featuring 3 to 4 hours of instructor-led classroom training, sample program code that allows you to work along with your personal instructor, and an example-rich study guide. Live lessons allow you to watch the entire course from start to finish, or navigate directly to any of the individual lessons. You'll literally watch over the shoulder of your instructor as he shows you how to build state-of-the-art applications. Live lessons, the power of the world's leading technology experts at your fingertips. To learn more, visit mylivelessons.com today.